Hi everyone, very good evening and welcome back to CAIIB Grade B. So let's start today's session. Yes, so we were talking about bank credits, right? So bank credit, in this particular thing, I have told you different kinds of definitions, right? Different types of bank credits. Like we have cash credits, we have overdrafts, we have demand loans, term loans, bill discounted, factored receivables, etc., etc. Now, in that particular scenario, we have seen few exceptions as well, जैसे कि आपका prudential write-off, securitized loan, loans transferred, asset reconstruction, bill rediscounted, etc., etc. Now, we have discussed different types as well, like the gross loans and advances, net loans and advances, right? Then we also discussed about cash credit. First of all, let us have a brief introduction about it and then we are going to continue. First, let's see the gross loans and advances. So, gross loans and advances may I have told you that it is including of all the loans and advances that you have given, but you have not deducted provisions as of now. आपने अभी तक provisions जो है minus नहीं किए हैं. Once you deduct out of your gross loans and advances, once you deduct your provisions, we reach at net loans and advances. ठीक है, हम किस पे पहुंच जाते हैं? Net loans and advances पे. Now next we have net loans and advances. We'll be discussing about its features. Just wait for a second. Yes. So in the net loans and advances, we have seen that you have to deduct various deductions from the gross loans and advances in order to reach the net loans and advances. What are those deductions? So these are provisions held in the case of NPA accounts, right? DICGC, ECGC claims received, part payments received and kept in suspense account, balances in the sundries account in respect to NPAs. So अगर आपने NPA के केस में you have capitalized certain interest. See, when does this capitalization thing happens? When restructuring happens. ठीक है, जब restructuring होती है तभी ये interest capitalization होता है. Next we have the floating provisions. So in this floating provisions, what we do is, if you are maintaining any provisions in respect to your tier 2 capital, right, in order to utilize it for your tier 2 capital. Tier 2 capital क्या होती है? See, banks have different sorts of capital. Number one, we have tier 1 capital and then we have tier 2 capital. Tier 1 capital is the primary capital where you can see equity capital, preference capital, right, as well as your certain forms of debts which are taken in the form of tier 1. But apart from that, in tier 2, this is called as supplementary capital of the bank, right? It is there in order to shore up the tier 1 capital. So say regarding if you have certain provisions that you have maintained in form of your tier 2 capital. Next, if your standard assets or the NPAs, there is fall in valuation of it and you have maintained provision for it. See, provision hota kya hai? Provision is all about the liability, right? If you can foresee a particular liability, if you can foresee a particular liability, then you should create provision. Right? And this is what has been meant. Now next, we talked about cash credits. So in the cash credit, what happens is like your stock would be taken as a what you can say collateral, and once that has been taken a collateral, you would be provided a limit that is called as cash credit limit, and you can withdraw or you can make payments up to that particular limit, right? Now this also forms part of your demand loans. ये हमने कल पढ़ा था, right? This also forms part of your demand loans. ठीक है. Next we have the overdraft. Overdraft क्या होता है? Over here you are allowed to withdraw in excess of what you have into your account. So yesterday also I told you that if you have 15,000 in your accounts and you are allowed to withdraw 10,000 rupees, then that is called as the overdraft, right? And next we have the term loans. Term loans, if there is maturity of a loan in excess of 1 year, that should come under the term loans. Otherwise that is categorized as a demand loan. उसको हम फिर demand loan की तरह जो है categorize करते हैं. Now moving ahead and talking about your other forms of bank credit. ठीक है. Other forms of bank credit आपके क्या होंगे उसके बारे में हम बात करेंगे. There are few more types left in it. So let us see this. Yes. So next we have something called as bill purchased and discounted. So first of all, we will understand what is this bill purchased and discounted. ठीक है. See, what happens is, suppose there is a particular person who is seller. There is a particular person called as seller, and here is the buyer, right? So over here you have been asked, you have sold goods to the buyer, and obviously what should buyer do? Buyer को आपको क्या करना चाहिए? पैसे देने चाहिए, right? Money should be provided. But what happens is, instead of paying money, this buyer says that bill receivable और bill payable would be given. ठीक है. So यहाँ पे आपके bills of exchange का काम आ जाता है. Now for the seller, the bill when accepted is called as bill receivable, right? And for the buyer, the same bill is called as the bills payable, because he has to pay and he has to accept. ये काम यहाँ पर करना है. But suppose there are 3 months lag, there is a 3 months time period in between. So what will happen over here? Just a second. Yes. So over here what is happening is, buyer is selling and the seller has received, but there is a time lag in between. The time lag is for 3 months time period. So what seller will do? Seller will go to the bank. or any other financial institution. Seller will go to the bank or any other financial institution and seller will say that please buy this particular bill from me. Okay? It will sell this particular bill to the bank and this bill receivable will be given to the bank and the bank will give money to the seller. This money is instant. So ये जो money है, this is instant, right? So this is called as bills purchased and discounted by the banks. Banks purchase such kind of bills from the sellers who are in the need of money and then discount them. Discount का मतलब क्या होता है? Let us suppose this bill receivable was for 10,000 rupees. This bill receivable was for 10,000 rupees. So obviously bank will not give the total 10,000 rupees to this particular seller. Bank पूरे थोड़ी दे देगा. Bank is going to charge discounting charges. See, bank is a financial institution and ultimately banks are existing because they are not the welfare oriented institutions. They are here for doing the business. So what they are going to do is discounting charges में suppose they have charged 1,000 rupees. Right, and remaining 9,000 they will provide to this particular seller. इसको जो है 9,000 रुपए जो है दे देंगे. So this is called as bills purchased and discounted. Let us see this. So a negotiable instrument that gives the holder right to receive stated fixed sums on demand or at fixed or determinable future time. When a bank negotiates a bill payable on demand and provides the fund to the holder, there is a fee or interest that is charged, right? This is the facility referred to as the bill purchase. तो जब बैंक जो है funds provide कर रहा है holder को, this is not provided at a free of cost, right? There will be a fee or interest that would be levied onto it. When a bank negotiates bill payable after a usance, that is at a fixed or determinable future time, it provides the funds to the holder at a discount and this is referred to as the bill discounting, right? So bill purchased and discounted can be inland bills, can be foreign bills. Obviously, there is no need to explain what are inland bills and what are foreign bills, right? Inland bills are bills of exchange which are drawn in India and paid in India to a person in India, where the everything, first of all, drawing of the bill, जिसने bill बनाया है, that person is also staying in India. Paid in India means the holder to which the amount needs to be paid, that person is also staying in India, right? And obviously, the bill has been given in the name of a Indian resident, right? So these are called as the inland bill. अच्छा, दो चीजें यहाँ पे bill purchase and bill discounting. First, let us understand the difference between it as well. See, there are two terms in front of us. Number one, we have bills purchased and then we have bills discounted. Bills purchased and then bills discounted. Right. So what are bills purchased and bill discounted? See, there can be two types of bill. Number one is the bill at sight. That means suppose I am the bank and I have purchased a bill. ठीक है, मैंने आज आपका जो है bill purchase कर लिया है. Now whenever I will present this bill to the writer of the bill, जिसने ये bill लिखा है, means the buyer of the goods. Whenever I am going to present this bill to the buyer, I will get the payment instantly. That means there is no time lag between me receiving the payment. ठीक है, as a bank. So अगर as a bank I have discounted the bill, I can get the payment instantly. So that is something which we call as the bills purchase. But suppose when the bill has been drawn for 3 months, that means if the bill has been made today, the person is going to receive payment after 3 months. This bill has been drawn for 3 months. So in such a situation, that is called as bill discounted. ठीक है, इस situation को हम क्या बोलते हैं? Bill discounted. If the bank has what you can say financed your bill which is having a certain time lag. ठीक है, अगर एक टाइम लैग एग्जिस्टिंग है तो इसको हम क्या कहेंगे? इसको हम बोलेंगे बिल डिस्काउंट. Now next we will see advances that are fully secured by tangible assets. So again it is a type of bank credit but it is having security in its hand. So advances where all the amounts due are covered fully by the value of tangible security. See, I hope you understand that we have asset type. ठीक है, asset type होता है हमारे पास में tangible assets and intangible assets. ठीक है, tangible assets, what are tangible assets? For example, your machinery is a tangible asset, right? Land and building, tangible asset. But the same I cannot say for intangible asset. Intangible assets are something which you cannot see or touch. ठीक है, जिनको आप छू नहीं सकते. They can only be felt. For example, the patent. For example, the copyrights. These are called as intangible assets. ये हमारी जो हो गई intangible assets हो गई. So over here advances where the all amounts due is covered fully by the value of tangible security. Tangible security could be primary as well as collateral security duly discharged to the bank in respect of those dues, and the market value of such security is not at any time less than the amount of such advance, right? So if your advance is, let's suppose, for 10 lakh rupees, then the market value of the asset that you have kept as a collateral is 15 lakhs. ठीक है, so in such a situation such advance would be called as fully secured by tangible assets. Securities in intangible forms like guarantees, comfort letters, etc. of the promoter or the others, goodwill, etc. they are not included. मतलब यहाँ पे हम intangible asset को include नहीं कर रहे हैं. We are only talking about tangible assets, right? The rights, licenses, authorizations, etc. charged to the bank as collateral in respect of projects, including the infrastructure projects, right? Financed by them should also not be reckoned as the tangible security. Now, see what they have given you over here is they have given you a proper exception. They have said that these licenses, authorizations, etc. with respect to the projects would not be taken as a tangible asset. जब तक कि RBI specifically tells that yes, you can consider them as a tangible assets, till that particular time आप इनको consider नहीं कर सकते. Then we have something called as unsecured loans, where the market value of the tangible security is less than all amounts due. Then the advance is secured only to the extent of market value of assets held as security. The residual portion will be called as an unsecured loan and advance. So what we are telling you over here is, suppose there are two situations. This is again a type of bank credit. There can be two variations of it. Number one, we have type 1 and then we have type 2. So your loan value could be 10 lakh rupees, right? And then you have the asset value. Asset value is, let's say, 8 lakh rupees. ठीक है? So loan amount what is due is more than the asset that you have kept as a security. So ये आपका unsecured loans में आएगा because your total loan value is not secured. आपकी total loan value secured नहीं है and that is why, see, we have a scenario in our mind that okay, we have the bank has given a loan of 10 lakh rupees and bank does not have any security in hand. That is something we call as unsecured loan. But that these kinds of preconceived notions are bad. ठीक है? Unsecured loan is also where you have taken the asset, that means you have taken the collateral. ऐसा नहीं है कि आपने collateral नहीं लिया है. You have taken the collateral but your collateral is inadequate. ठीक है? Then also the loan type or the credit would fall under the unsecured loan, right? Or it can also happen that advance is secured only to the extent of market value of asset held as security, right? So your balance portion is always going to be talked as the unsecured loan. See, one option type can also be like this. Loan value is 10 lakh rupees, right? And asset value is somewhere near, let's say 9.5 or around 10. Okay. So your market value is dwindling and as the asset value would come down, you will fall in the type 1. So always the advances which are fully secured, ऐसे कौन से advances होते हैं? So in these kind of advances, if your loan amount is 10 lakh, your asset value is 15 lakh. There is a significant gap in between. Okay? This is your loan value and this is your asset value. And there is a significant gap in between, so this gives you a security gap. ठीक है? इससे आपको एक security gap मिलता है. Next we have the advances covered by the banks or the government guarantees. So advances which are guaranteed by Indian or foreign banks, Indian central, state, local government and or foreign governments, other recognized institutions like the ECGC or DICGC, or let's say credit guaranteed fund trust for the micro and small enterprises. So if such kind of guarantees have been provided, such kind of bank credits comes under this. See, for example, I'll tell you different example for this. So DICGC के बारे में तो हम जानते ही हैं, Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation. It is a fully owned subsidiary of RBI. Then we have ECGC, export credit related guarantees. So the people who are doing export, they also need a certain kind of guarantee to run their business up to a different level. ठीक है? Business को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए they need the guarantees etc. And that is why Export Credit Guarantee Corporation works along with that in order to secure the interest of Indian exporters. Lastly, we have the Credit Guaranteed Fund Trust for the micro and small enterprises. A very good example of this would be Mudra. So the Mudra loans which are provided, in that there is a fund trust that has been constituted, and in that fund trust it has been told कि if as a bank we are nudging you in order to provide loans and advances, you need to provide the loans and advances to the customers. Fine. And suppose because these are small customers and they are unable to pay you anything, ठीक है, अगर वो आपको कुछ भी पे नहीं कर पाते हैं, then in that case the loan amount that you have given up to 85% we are giving you a guarantee. So that is why these kind of trusts are made and the guarantees are provided to it. So now you have read the different kinds of bank credit, different kinds of advances. I hope you would have understood the difference between all these kind of different scenarios, where we talked about that bank credit is not just the simple loans and advances that we see. We also talk about the unsecured loans. We also have talked about the advances that are secured by the guarantees. We have also seen that there are demand loans, and apart from the that we have term loans as well. Overdraft bhi covered hai. For example, the very good example of it is Jandhan account. Jandhan account allows you to have an overdraft facility. Cash credits are also provided. So these are the different mechanisms through which the loans etc. they are provided by the banks. This was the topic of type of credits or the type of bank credits that we had to complete in today's lecture. We have completed it, and from tomorrow onwards we are going to pick up a different topic. This is it for today. Thank you so much for joining in, and I hope you would have understood the topics. If you did, then please do not forget to like this video. Thank you.